you said last time when Rich was talking about his strength, which is follow through and execution, you said something that he didn't include. You said, we like to push. What did that mean? I didn't know what you were referring to. Do you remember what that? You said, we like to push, and you moved your hands forward.
Yeah, push the process, make sure that time kills all deals. I'm going to push the process to make sure that they interview on time.
And how do you push it? Because that was my next question. I'll come to a story, or maybe I'll tell the story first and we'll put it in there. Okay. This company, I think I mentioned this before, the recruiter brought in a VP. Okay. And they interviewed her 5 times over 2 months. And of course, somebody else grabbed her before they finally made up their minds that they wanted to go with her. So Steve Levy said, and Martin Snyder as well, said, this recruiter should have known the hiring process in advance and then guided them into something more reasonable. Okay. Now, but I don't know. Can you say that every, 3 interviews fits every candidate? Sometimes you're not sure.
You need to know the process of your client and make sure that if it, and when you're starting out, we're talking about a new client, if their process is antiquated and takes 3 months, then you just say, like, I can't help you and walk away.
But if they say 3 and then they're not ready to make a decision after 3, what do you do?
If after 3 interviews, there's a reason, I want to know the reason why. Why can't we make an offer to Steve? Oh, well, because based on the last interview, we're concerned about his drive, so we want him to meet Joe. Or we want him to take a test. And then I can say, okay, look, hey, candidate, you did well, but you really bombed the 3rd interview, so they want you to take this assessment test. Like, nothing's black and white, so you have to look at the client and figure out why this isn't working.
So now you can tell us how you push the process.
You push it by asking the right questions, like Tom just said.
Yeah, from the very beginning. And then why aren't we doing this?
Yeah, what's changed? I mean, that's
that doesn't sound like pushing.
I don't know how to explain that more.
No, he said, I push the process. I push it. Well, so it happens faster. What you just said is, oh, there's 3 interviews. They're not sure about the guy. We want to send him up for another one, or maybe even one after that. Okay. Okay. Yeah,
I'll give you
that's not pushing. That's not pushing.
My best client, we had a candidate who was interviewing with 2 other companies. I ran to them and said, hey, if you guys want this guy, we got to move quick. The next day, they scheduled an interview at a plant, at a sales office instead of the plant, what they never do. They all drove down there. They met. They loved the guy. They then did a Teams interview, and I pushed another interview. Like, hey, we need to get the guy this offer because he's got 2 offers he's sitting on. They expedited the process, got the offer signed, sealed, and delivered, and got it to him 2 days later. That was faster than they had ever done it before. I've called clients and say, I got the guy. You can't get him. Your process is too long. You can't get him. And trust me, if he's that good, they'll make it happen. And I've had it happen. Tommy Johnson, he's the engineering manager at McElroy Metal in Shreveport, Louisiana. He had accepted a job with MBCI in Houston. I called up McElroy and said, I got your guy, but you can't get him. He's already taken a job. He hasn't started yet, but you'd have to move too quick, and you guys are too slow. They flew him in the next day. They interviewed him in Shreveport. They made him the offer. He backed out of the other job and started there, and he's been there for 21 years today.